Hello again. Now it's time for the Hunger Games Mockingjay Part One review that I saw this past Thanksgiving weekend, and I really enjoyed it. Before you say anything about the Part One thing, let me be brutally honest. I have read the book, and I can honestly say that a lot happens in it, so that's definitely would justify I I for adapting the two parts. Now, and also, as I don't expect to see the actual games of this one, and that's because it wasn't like that in the book. I'm not going to be spoiling anything too major, major about the book or the film. Go read it and see it if you haven't yet. That so, and the Mockingjay, hey, Katniss Everdeen is going to be the symbol of the new revolution, and played once again by Jennifer Lawrence in a very powerful performance that she has become quite the female icon in some time, one I admire very much. And also, once again, very good supporting performances from the late Philip Seymour Hoffman as Plutarch, who has definitely been and they had to re-edit and reshoot both parts because of his overdose death earlier this year. And regarding that he does many of the lines he says are quite dramatic given how he's no longer with us. This, and also President Snow, who played again by Donald Sutherland, and is very posing very grave threats at even ones and bigger than the ones that kept off the start of the series in the first place. He's that it's a lot more like an espionage film than it is what his gladiatorial combat was. That the shaky cam's been toned on a bit, but still, many of the scenes when they're trying to rescue these people as well as stop the capital's plans, almost felt like a war film as well. It's almost like news footage of what's going on in the Middle East right now. Now that and definitely a very intense film, and all of this is indeed part one. The way it ended was sort of to be concluded in Mockingjay Part 2, which is going to be taking place, going to be released 1 year from now. How exactly that. And also, 1 minute straight, big performance from Josh Hutcherson, and as Peter Malark. So definitely much change from being the new Mike TV. I also find that somewhat amusing, given how, for two reasons. One is that his sin in the new Charlie Chalk Factory has being related to violent games. He's given how this film franchise and this book series is noted for its content and its sort of fight to the death, as well as these war footage, and also apparently he doesn't like sweets, but he would start as a cake decorator. That's and that's not important right now. And looks very much like they spent the $250 million well on just this first half alone. It's just going to be combined. That's $250,000 on a very dramatic end to the saga. That's definitely to young adult books for me, but Harry Potter was to children's books for me. That's still hold that season in high regard and justify it similarly. And I know what everyone's gonna ask me, but save it. You've seen the comment on Rift Text on Google Plus page. I'm going to dignify it any further. So this initial part, I'm going to divert it. That's mean, despite not being as good as the first couple films, it's still definitely a worthwhile entry, and definitely very excited to hit it for part 2 next year. Going to give this film 3 stars out of 4, so I'm going to have a cut here. I'm going to be talking about the trailers once again. Okay, so trailer, the first one that I'm definitely most interested in, that about a prior instance, of course, is The Hobbit Battle of Five Armies. I do kind of have a related review of Destination Smaug. I enjoyed that one. last of the Middle-earth films, unless Jackson decides to do a Silmarillion, which I'd be open to, and I must once again point out that while it may be a shorter book than Lord of the Rings, it's still just as much happens in that time frame, and hey man, definitely come a long way from just one that's an animated one that's an hour and 45 minutes long and a musical no less. And the one that's definitely building interest with me is Into the Woods, which is another trend in the darker and edgier rendition of fairy tales. Also seem to be taking place that reintroducing darker elements into the hints to them, which ironically some of my companies often accused of toning them down. You know the one. And also, for next year there's the Minion movie, which should be fun. Minions, the little yellow Twinkies, things that are in Despicable Me movies, but they're showing how before they met Gru, before recorded history, and they apparently are seeking to make their way through time and across the world to find their place, which is anywhere, which definitely leads them to 1968 New York. With that swinging soundtrack, it's definitely a lot of actors that are pretty good in it, like Sandra Bullock and John Hamm. That should be fun. And I definitely hate the first couple of Despicable Me movies. And which brings me to one I'm definitely not going to be a fan of. Night at the Museum, M3, Secret of the Tomb. That I do like Ben Stiller and many of the actors involved in it, but it's not to say I can't lament to go through in this. That's every actor's gonna have a bad movie on their resume sometime, but I didn't think they need to make one of those movies, let alone three. And to my dismay, it's also one of the last films Robin Williams and the last film of Mickey Rooney, rest their souls. What was that? And it's definitely not a film I might think too highly of. What are you doing? Hey. And anyway, hey, that's about how to say for now. Leave your comments box below, and I shall see you later.